Hey, kid. You should have listened when they told you to run, but unfortunately, it's too late now. Bennett stepped closer to Dustin. Soon, Bennett was less than 20 feet away from Dustin, which was the best range for an attack. There was no way Dustin could escape from him. When did I ever say that I wanted to run? Dustin retorted calmly. Do you still plan to resist after hearing my nickname? Bennett sneered. Resist? No, you misunderstand me. I'm merely going to knock you out. Dustin corrected. Knock me out? Fut. Bennett sniggered. Fine. I'll give you a chance. I won't move from this spot. You have 3 chances to strike me. I'll let you go if you can make me take even a single step backward. His words put a smirk on Maggie's and the others' faces, who were all aware that Bennett's body was impenetrable. Even those of the same rank as him couldn't break through his defenses. So everyone was confident that even if Bennett let Dustin attack him 30 times without protecting himself, the former would still be completely unharmed. This is interesting. Bennett is going to play a game of cat and mouse. Maggie smirked. The brat is going to make a fool of himself, yet he thinks he's got the upper hand. The martial artists from the Doyle family had their arms crossed and were grinning from ear to ear as they watched on, while Nelson and the others gritted their teeth and clenched their jaws. Bennett was clearly humiliating Dustin, yet Nelson and the rest of the gang were too weak to fight back. Are you sure you want to let me have 3 strikes at you first? Dustin suddenly asked. Why? Is it not enough? Fine, you can have 10. If that's still not enough, you can even have 30. Bennett sneered. It's okay. Just 1 is enough. Dustin smiled softly and suddenly threw an ordinary-looking punch. Don't fall for it, sir. He's provoking you. Nelson yelled. Ignorant fool. Maggie sniggered. Things are starting to get good. The Doyle family martial artists started cheering. They naturally assumed that Dustin was making things harder for himself. There was an audible thump as Dustin's fist buried itself into Bennett's abdomen. However, the latter seemed unfazed. His arms were still crossed as he sneered at Dustin. He actually made a move. How foolish. The Doyle family martial artists giggled jeeringly. Bennett chuckled. Are you trying to tickle me with that puny punch of yours? You dash. Suddenly, he paled and looked down as he realized something. The place where Dustin had struck him had started churning, and suddenly, there was an ear-splitting bang as Bennett's abdomen exploded, leaving a gaping, bloody hole. The insane force sent Bennett flying in the air before he crashed heavily into the floor and passed out on impact. With a single strike, Dustin had knocked Bennett out. Flabbergasted, everyone gaped at Bennett, who landed on the floor defeated with a crash. None of them expected someone as powerful as Bennett to be one punch. Wasn't he supposed to have an impenetrable body and be insanely strong? How was he defeated so easily? Impossible. Maggie's gleeful expression had vanished and was now replaced by aghast. This was Maniac they were talking about. A revered divine-level martial artist who was also Terry's best fighter. She couldn't believe that such a powerful person had been defeated by a single punch from Dustin. Is this Sir Rhys' true strength? He's terrifying. Nelson's eyes were wide open with disbelief. Bennett was well known for his strength, which made him the best fighter in the Doyle family. He had never lost a single battle and was even strong enough to eliminate the Flame Dragon gang by himself, yet he had been defeated by a single attack from Dustin. That was incredible. There was a pregnant pause before the uproar began. Holy shit. I didn't know that Sir Rhys was so strong. Who would have expected him to take Maniac down by himself? He's awesome. With such a strong leader, I'm sure our gang will go far in the future. The Flame Dragon gang disciples were overjoyed by the outcome and were in awe of Dustin's strength. Maniac. Yeah, right. He couldn't even withstand a single punch from their leader, much less 30 punches. How could this have happened? Bennett lost. Who the hell is that guy? How the fuck did he defeat Bennett so easily? The Doyle family's martial artists were terrified by Dustin's power. They had initially thought that it would be an easy win, never expecting things to turn out like this. Was this the end of the Doyle family? Your men seem a bit weak. Why don't you test out my strength yourself? Dustin turned his head, and his gaze landed on Maggie, who stood amidst the crowd. What? Maggie paled and stumbled backward, nearly tripping over her feet. Protect Ms. Maggie. The Doyle family's martial artists immediately surrounded Maggie to keep her safe. All of them had their guards up, and several men had broken out in a cold sweat. After all, how could they possibly defeat the person who won against Maniac? Still, they had to carry out their duty, so even if they knew they would lose, they had to stand up and fight. Seeing how you defeated Bennett, I have to admit that I underestimated you. Maggie composed herself quickly. However, my family has tons of people who are way stronger than Bennett. Do you think that you can defeat a bunch of people just because you defeated Bennett? The Doyle family was a martial arts family, and each family member practiced martial arts, so nothing would change, no matter how powerful Dustin was. So what? Dustin responded, unfazed. I'm very generous. I'm willing to let you go if you get on your knees and grovel for forgiveness. Maggie humphed arrogantly.